This is one of those moments where I actually hate being right, and this is one of the issues facing the United States. The establishment is obsessed on maintaining the control of the narrative. So if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I just went back and forth with Dylan Page. When citing the safety and quality of food in the United States, I sourced the Global Food Security Index. He sourced the book. Like, just because he has 11 million followers doesn't mean he's more accurate, that the news he delivers is any more accurate. He clearly got this wrong, and I clearly proved him wrong. Not 48 hours later, he was invited to the Nato summit. It had nothing to do with him getting accurate information to the public. It's just the fact that he had 11 million followers.
And here's the part that's really, really cool. And this is just like, this is the most proud part for me, is the content creators that they invited have access to places and people that journalists don't.
You want to know the scary part? The system that he just jumped into, that he has no idea jumped into. I know so well that I knew he was going to say this 24 hours ago. As of this recording, he posted this 3 hours ago. I replied, "They're open about you have a young audience, we're trying to court younger generations, and we have a message for young people, and it's X, Y, and Z." I take anything he says about NATO or the summit with a giant grain of salt, especially if it's, quote, "I got the inside scoop information they wouldn't even tell the media. This happens all the time." And I'm not wrong. I predicted it, and it happened in 24 hours. Don't listen to anything he says about NATO, especially if he says, "Well, this information they're not telling the media. This information they're not letting out to the public, but they're gonna let me say it." When you watch his studio get a lot nicer. Here he is calling me propaganda less than a month ago, and now he's selling out to the system. Gotta love it. And unfortunately, there's no way I could post this to TikTok. Everything about the summit, for some reason, my views are taking a hit.
Like, just think about the significance of that for a second, and how far content creators in general have come. You know, 5 years ago, there was no content creators at all invited. And then today, here we are.
So his ego is through the roof right now. He thinks he was invited to the NATO summit because he's super awesome. This is what's called the social media charm offensive. The other prong is going through the back door and just telling the CEO of the company to pull this entire topic, like they did with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg was very open and honest about it and said, "Yeah, the feds visited me all the time and told me which stories to push and which ones to take down." Like, I kind of feel bad for him in a way, but at the same time, like, it's his ego that brought him there in the first place. His entire audience sees right through it. His top comments are all like, "Oh, he sold out," or "Rest in peace."
Going on, I can promise you, no dodgy backroom deals have been struck. And I am still alive. And I'm not going to be cloned if I hear one bit about that. All right.
Now, what usually happens is about 6 months to 12 months down the road, somebody's going to find receipts. Find out that he did make a deal with somebody. And he's going to go, "Oh, well, I mean, it wasn't a dodgy backroom deal. It was kind of right out in the open. The room wasn't dodgy." So anything coming from NATO, this summit, or anything to do with anything this week with him in DC, don't believe it unless the media is also saying it. They can't lie to the media, but they can lie to some kid that they invited to the White House from London.